start, and I will say welcome. Hi, my name is Kelly Kazik, and I am part of the Early Learning Services Division at the Minnesota Department of Ed. I work on the preschool development grant, working on supporting the early childhood workforce across the state. And I'm super excited to tell you a little bit about an innovations community of practice that we are doing. And I will let my co-hosts introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Katie Smith, and I am a career parent educator. I spent most of my career in Winona, a bit in Robbinsdale, and a bit in South Washington County. One of my roles as well has been to train and support the early childhood, and especially ECFE profession all across the state. I have been on this project since January. And now to Monica.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Monica Potter. And I'm so grateful to have been able to join these two lovely ladies in working on this innovations grant. I'm the supervisor currently of St. Paul Public Schools ECFE program, and I've been conducting some of the groups online to talk about what's going well in early childhood programs.
So let me catch you up as the first hire on this preschool development grant. One of the things that made sense right away was to do a triage cluster of meetings, just to check in on 65 programs from all across the state and see how they were doing. And one of the things that happened right away is it was clear that ECFE was in trouble. Not everywhere, but in some places, real trouble. All, of course, related to COVID and being displaced, not having a workforce, having families who were afraid to come, having families who were just up to their eyeballs in screens. So for lots of different reasons, we found some inequities across the state with who was getting quality parent education and who was not. And so I thought one of the ways to support the workforce who is doing quality parent education is to get them a catalog of digital offerings specific to COVID-related content to get out through their programs for a couple of reasons. One is we all feel so strongly about quality parent education. We wanted people to have some resources, even if their programs were not able to deliver them at that particular time. Second, we all felt a responsibility to support programs with enrollment if we could, by having parent educators from different parts of the state collect and record and donate, actually, quality lessons that programs could send out through their program and get some enrollment numbers. So in that way, it felt very much like a COVID recovery plan. Quality parent education out to parents and getting some enrollment numbers up in places where people were really at a loss for how to engage parents during a time of COVID. The response has been amazing. We now have a catalog only because of a beautiful partnership with MNAFE, which is the Minnesota Minnesota Association of Family and Early Educators, who said, yes, 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 yes. How can we as an organization support MDE and parent education in this effort? We have a catalog now of wonderful parent education lessons that, again, very specific to COVID-related content that programs can send out and parents can watch and view, and programs can come back and use as a discussion point in a Zoom meeting. So if someone didn't have the bandwidth to create all kinds of lessons about COVID because they were jumping around to 6 different programs, the content is there, which is wonderful. And it also comes, many of them came with questions for parents to engage in the content. So I wear the hat on leading the charge with gathering parent educators and organizing content. Kelly and Monica have been thinking about what does that look like for programs to disseminate, what kinds of information can they gather from it, how can this be useful for us in the spring and possibly in the future. So I'll pass the baton to Kelly, and she can talk about how folks might use this in a small district.
Awesome. Yeah. So what we're hoping is that these will be a resource tool for you And you can think about the needs in your community. And so in a smaller district, maybe you have folks who aren't feeling comfortable coming back in at some point in time when your model is changing. And this might be a good way for you to get some content out to them. If you have staff that are changing or turnover is happening and you need to access these resources to keep your parents engaged, I think that's a wonderful opportunity to use these. Our huge goal is just to keep programs running and to keep families connected. And so whatever ways that you are thinking you can utilize these resources, we want you to, and then share with us what's working for you. Like Katie said, maybe you share this out with a group of parents and then you host a chat afterwards. Or maybe, you know, depending on what your topic is and your parent educators who are doing this work right now, but they want more resources, here's another resource they can use. Early childhood people are innovative and creative, so I know you're all going to come up with great ways to use these resources. And when you can share with us what you're doing, it just helps everybody learn from each other. So thank you.
And Kelly, weren't we talking earlier this week about collecting the data, the enrollment forms, as if someone was coming to a class? That's
Absolutely.
it. This year in a time of COVID, this counts as parent education, even though people are getting it digitally, maybe from some other parent educator that they'll never meet.
Correct. Yes. For sure.
When I think about large programs too, this is just more resources for all of us. And let's say in a large program, you didn't have a sub for a class. You could use one of these videos and have some discussion questions with the video. So I feel like larger districts can contribute some of their current lesson plans, and also can use these lesson plans for great ideas, even what distance learning can look like. I was so impressed with the parent educators that have already contributed videos. So like in a large program, let's say your staff all had their vaccinations on one day and then a second day, everybody's out. This is a great way where someone could pick up a video and run with a class, or even start some new classes in the larger districts. So it's just another resource and support for us in the field, in ECFE, and in parent education.
It's a lifeline, I think, for parent educators, especially who are in greater Minnesota working 2 or 3 different districts. And so maybe they've gotten laid off and their heart is broken because there isn't any programming. This is a way to get programming to folks who are not getting it already. It also makes us dream really big about the possibilities beyond COVID, what it could look like. But for now, this is just very specific to COVID. And we're so grateful to the parent educators who have donated their wisdom and their time and their videos to the project. And so if you're interested in donating still, there's room for you. And Kelly will tell you how to connect to the resources that we have already. And again, we're all looking for your feedback and your support, hoping that this just feels like a lifeline for you.
Yeah, and so what we're planning to do is we've started, like Katie said, a video catalog on the Wiki website. It's also connected to the Menafee website. And some of the videos are going to be stored on the Menafee YouTube, or they might be just linked directly from folks' YouTube channels that they've already created. So you'll be able to find a whole list of all the videos that are available. And like we said, whatever feedback you can share, I welcome you to send it out to any of us. And especially to what your parent feedback is on this would be really helpful information too.
It's kind of a historic collaboration between the Minnesota Department of Ed and Menafee, working together in ways that we never have before. But that's kind of the whole country is working in ways that we never have before. So it feels innovative, it feels timely, and it feels really good to be able to offer stuff, really good stuff to folks who might not be getting any parent education at all. So with that, we welcome your questions and your feedback, and we wish you well, and we'll see you hopefully in person on the other side of this pandemic.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching.